Hi guys, I told you I would be back after I finished my bicycle run. I actually did about 25 minutes today. I rode around 3 times and rode around the neighborhood. But anyway, I'm coming on here because I stated when I posted my video earlier that I was going to do, I don't know if you want to call it a series or whatever, but I want to share some things about dementia along with family drama. I'm talking about when the disease is diagnosed and the people that are caretakers deal with the aftermath. A lot of times, in my case, I'm gonna speak for my case. My mom was diagnosed probably about 5 years ago. My mom was living in Arkansas and she came back to Houston about maybe 5-6 years ago. I could be wrong with the timeline. But when she came here, we noticed some things were a little off. I'm not gonna go back that far, but long story short, my mom was diagnosed with both dementia and Alzheimer's. And if you know anything about the disease, the person is okay one day. It may be a couple of days, a couple of weeks before they have like something different that happens. For my mother, mom has always been very smart mouth. She's always been very quick with her tongue. She's always been very quick with her tongue, even before she had dementia. So the fact that she has dementia, it's like on 100. So mom has always, this is not like this person is not who she's always been. It's just increased, if I would say, if that's the word that I would use. But my mom has dementia, and my sister and I have 3 sisters. My youngest sister has not been around since 2010. My oldest sister and I have shared the responsibility of taking care of my mom for these last, I'm gonna say maybe 6 years. Anyway, let's fast forward to this year. This year in January, my mom was in a home. It wasn't really the facility, a facility that you would kind of see online or anything. It was somebody that my sister knew from church, and they had a home. And my mom was with my sister all last year, which is 2023. She was with me all 22. So when it came time to see what was going to happen at the end of the year, my sister said she found a home. Fast forward to January, we moved my mom in the house. My mother was a clerk, teacher's assistant, paraprofessional. She did that for maybe 40 years, 30 years, something like that. But she worked in a school district most of her life. And my mother has insurance, of course, like Medicaid, Medicare. I always say those wrong. Medicare for the older people. She has a form of Medicare, but she also has this supplement where if she gets sick, this particular supplement will pay her for her hospital visits. I'm saying all this for a reason. So here we are in January. My mom went to this home and she stayed there from January until May 19th. During that time, mom had several episodes. There were times that I would go over visit and she wouldn't look herself. When I say she wouldn't look herself, I would make her get dressed every day just to kind of get her moving. But they wouldn't make her get dressed, which was fine. But from what I knew, they were not mistreating her. She didn't like it, but they were not mistreating her. I live with my daughter. My daughter bought a home, and my daughter and my youngest daughter, all 3 of us live together. So I wanted to take my mom, but I couldn't because I didn't have any place to put her. My sister has a 4-bedroom home, and she decided that mom was no longer welcome there. So in May, I called my mom a couple of days. I would talk to her like every day, but we took her out May 19th. And during that week, I called her one day and she was kind of, saying what she says. She didn't want to be here. And my sister mentioned that she had wrote a letter to the place that my mama was staying. And I'm like, wrote a letter? Why would you write a letter? Because they've been mistreating her. So in my mind, if mom has been there since January, this is a place that you selected because I didn't know the people. I met the people when I first got there. It was fine. I got a good vibe. My discernment wasn't telling me anything. So, okay, I don't have a place to put her. You don't want her in your house. So we have to do what we have to do. So my sister said that she had been writing a letter because of how they were mistreating her. And I said, what? Why are you writing letters? Because it has to have gotten bad if you're writing letters. Why have you been writing letters and you've not said anything? Okay. My sister and I, my oldest sister and I, we've taken care of my mom. And if you know anything about the disease, if you don't understand the disease, you would think that the person that has the disease at some point, is this really real now? The other day you was all right, but now because you don't know anything about the disease, you have to learn stuff. Over the past 5-6 years, I've learned stuff about the disease. My mom is perfectly fine some days, but there are some days she's off. She don't remember. The remembering things and what to do is off. And that's fine because she has dementia. She can't cut it on and off. She has dementia. My sister and I have never, no, I'm lying. We had a good relationship, what I thought was good, back in the day growing up. But you grow up and you tend to do this, you know, you go over this way, you go over this way. I've been in ministry for 40 years. Was in ministry for 40 years. What do you mean ministry? I was singing in church. I was on the praise team. I sung background for Kim Burrell. I did some stuff with John P. Key background. I'm here in Houston, so there were a lot of local artists that I sang with. If anybody they know Houston, Charles Tyrone, and the community singers. I sung in that choir. Sean McLemore, rest in peace to both him and Charles Tyrone. Sean McLemore, I sung with New Image when Sean first moved here. Again, I sung on Kim Burrell's first, I think it was the first 2 CDs, sung background. Kim Burrell and I used to sing with her. So I have been in ministry. I sang in church, on the praise team for years and years and years, sang in groups. So I've been in ministry all my life. And with being in ministry, you are taught not only the Bible, but when you have parents, my mother raised us in church. My dad didn't go to church much, but my mom always raised us in church. And anytime there would be a disagreement with my sister and I, my mom would always remind me, you saved, you know God, don't worry about her, forgive her. And all of these years, I've been sweeping stuff under the rug, not addressing things when I should have, letting things go and saying, well, maybe. My children have said for years, since they have been able to see what's going on, Mama, you need to say something. And me, no, I'm going to just let it be. We family, blah, blah, blah. But the buck stops here. I want to share this and not to blast anybody, but I want to let people know that you can be in a family that you are blood related to, and it's okay if you not deal with the person. I am not the same person that I was 5 years ago when my mama was diagnosed with the disease. And if you don't grow, that's on you. I've grown. So the way that I handle my mother is different because now I understand the disease. I understand that she can't cut this thing off and own. My mother is 81 years old. And for you that follow me, you can look back in my videos. I try to take her out and do things with her. I try to bring her to my house and do stuff with her just to keep her living. So fast forward to May 19th. My sister and I having this conversation, and she says she felt like the people were mistreating my mom, and she suggested that we move my mom in a home on the south side. I live on the north side. I said, no way. So I said, I'm not working. I will move in your house Monday through Friday to take care of Mom. We agreed. It didn't even take 24 hours. I was at my sister's house, been at my sister's house Monday through Friday since May 19th. 2 weeks ago, let me tell you what happened. This is just the beginning of my story. I've already talked to somebody about writing a book because I said I was going to write one when my mom was first diagnosed because I didn't understand it. And this is the first part. So if you all would walk with me and let me help you so that you don't have to encounter or endure toxicity and foolishness from somebody that you are blood related with. I'll be back.